Willie Mays made a famous catch. Way back in the 1951 World Series, this Cleveland Indians player, Wirtz, hit a ball to one of the deepest parts of Polo Grounds. It was a huge ballpark. It was an old ballpark. They don't make them that big anymore. And Willie Mays ran down the ball with his back to home plate. And he caught the ball like this on the run. And he stopped before the wall, turned around, and threw the ball back into the infield.
Why did he throw it back in the infield?
Exactly. When he came back in, I said to him, how did you have the presence of mind to run that ball down in the deepest part of center field in the Polo Grounds and then turn around and throw it back in? And his answer was, Coach said you can't do anything with the ball out in center field. Well, I heard this said over with Torah. If I have chizik within me to share, and I want to share my love of Hakadosh Baruch Who, and I want to share my knowledge that Hakadosh Baruch Who can heal us and give us what we need to make it through our challenges and make us the best grateful warriors we can be, I have an obligation to share it. What I have now that I can share is my chizik and my knowledge that Hakadosh Baruch Hu is in our lives every second of every day, and he has the ability to heal us when he thinks it's right. That I have, so I need to share it. Can't do anything without it in center field.
That's what we're trying to do with this podcast with the Grateful Warriors. Every person
in their own way
could be a grateful warrior.
100%. I had a minor epiphany just as we were setting up here. We are here on behalf of Grateful Warriors.
Right.
And when I was growing up, a much younger man than I am now, before I became frum, I used to like this band called the Grateful Dead. And unbeknownst to me, I've now been frum for a double-digit amount of years, closing in on 20. I've become a grateful warrior.
Oh, you are a grateful warrior.
And the Grateful Dead with music, it was fleeting, and it was there for a moment. I'd enjoy it for the time.
Right.
And that's it, you go home. But becoming a grateful warrior, I am a living grateful warrior. I wake up in the morning, I say Mo Da'ani, and I put on my armor, I put on my tzitzis, I get dressed, I get ready to daven. I'm a warrior. I get up in the morning, I'm so grateful and thankful that I got up in the morning, that Hakadosh Baruch Hu got me up. And I'm out for another day to battle, not just the Yetzer Hara, but the challenges that Hakadosh Baruch Hu has given me. And I couldn't be more grateful at the opportunity to be that warrior.
You know, the problem is we could just stop the episode right here.
We have so much more to share.
I know, of course, we're going to dig deep, man. But I'm just saying, for me, it's like, it's a big chizuk, and thank you for coming on the show. Let's get right into it. So you said you were frum for 20 years.
Actually 14. I'm in my 15th year.
Wow, beautiful. How'd that all happen?
I'm not going to bore you, but I grew up locally in Woodmere. Went to a local Hebrew school Monday and Wednesday after school, and Sunday morning. And I was just a high holiday Jew, essentially. And I got a job from a couple of people I went to law school with. I got a job at a predominantly frum company, Lubavitch.
Really?
Yep. And made some lifelong friends. And one day I brought in my talis and tefillin, and I put on my tefillin for the first time in years and years and years. And it was like plugging into an electrical outlet.
Really?
No exaggeration. And that was 2007. By 2008, I spent in 770 for Sukkot. And if you can survive the hakafos, you go up and on. And I haven't looked back. I'm on my second scroll Shas Gemara.
Really?
I'm in my second go round. I got to get better. I got to stay on the up escalator.
That's just like, because you chose this life.
I am FBC frum by choice.
Oh, I love it. Frum by choice, FBC. Do you think that this FBC has helped you overcome the challenges?
It's an understatement. Understatement. I had a brief conversation with Rabbi Eitan Feiner about that from Knesset Israel, the white Jew. I don't know how anyone, whether it's a Jewish person or obviously a non-Jewish person, can go through a challenge, a major challenge in your life, without having a close connection, a close catcher with Hakadosh Baruch Hu. I couldn't imagine it.
Right.
I couldn't imagine taking one breath or taking a step forward without knowing Hakadosh Baruch Hu not only has my back, but wants me to succeed, loves me, wants the best for me. If I didn't know that, like concrete, I don't know how it survived. Without Hakadosh Baruch Hu, I couldn't imagine surviving a day, a minute.
Wow.
And the truth of the matter is that without Hakadosh Baruch Hu, we wouldn't survive a minute, not a second.
Right. So it's interesting. Recently, we actually both spoke for one of the most kosher organizations in Klal Yisrael, RCCS. Unbelievable. We both know that whatever they call us, we go there. As
100%.
As you told me, medically, RCCS, they're there to hold your hand, walk you through
every step of the way.
Every step of the way. So just tell me, how did your whole cancer situation start?
In 2018, I just had what I thought was a stomach ailment, and it exploded into a stage 4 colon cancer diagnosis.
Whoa.
I had a large bowel obstruction. I went to bed Motzei Shabbos on November 3rd or 4th, and I had to go in an emergency fashion to South Mass on Mount Sinai, and they found a mass, and they didn't right away know that it was cancerous. And by the time I got the cancer diagnosis, right off to Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center in Manhattan. And that's where I started. I had to get rid of the tumor first.
Surgery or?
Yeah, a major surgery to redo my abdomen, colon, and reconnect things. And then since it was stage 4, that means that it could go to anywhere in my body. The colon cancer spread to my lungs, and I've been on top of that. It hasn't needed any treatment, so they've been kept at bay by the chemo. But as recently as this past July, it spread to my spine.
1 second.
It's my bone.
What happened? So for 2018 till
I've been going through chemo treatments
the whole time.
No, on and off. 6 months on, 6 months off, things like that.
Right.
And they would just keep checking me in MRIs or CT scans, and it was being kept at bay. And then this past July of 2022. It metastasized to my bones. I'm back on chemo now, and I'm davening, learning, and doing my ishtalos.
How are you a grateful warrior?
Before I was diagnosed with cancer, when I was in a little abyss before I found out I had cancer, I've been fighting. I've been a warrior, and I've been grateful that Hakadosh Baruch Hu allowed me to get better from the initial surgery before we knew it was cancerous, and only with Hakadosh Baruch Hu's help was I able to go from November into December until when I was diagnosed with cancer. And then when I was diagnosed with cancer, that I think I might have gotten a promotion from private first class in this warrior army up to, I don't know what the next is, I don't know, my corporal or whatever it was.
General.
Well, I don't know about general, yeah. I hope to be maybe discharged honorably.
Amen.
I still want to be a warrior, don't get me wrong. I welcome it. Because we're all a warrior one way, even if we're healthy, we're still a warrior. We should be a warrior.
Right.
We shouldn't be complacent. But as the health concerns got more serious, you have to be a better fighter. I mean, David HaMelech, he borrowed Shaul HaMelech's armor that shouldn't have fit him. He borrowed his shield, he borrowed his mask, whatever, his helmet, and he went to fight Goliath. And cancer is my Goliath. And I'm going to be the big grateful warrior. I'm not in the same class as David HaMelech by any means, way, shape, or form. But I'm not going to fight any less. Hakadosh Baruch Hu has given me the ability not only to be a warrior, but to be a grateful warrior, and not to be upset about it, not to say why me, but to say thank you. Actually, thank you for choosing me. That the rest of my family is healthy and they're living their lives. Thank you for choosing me. That you think I'm capable of fighting this fight, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. So I am grateful that He chose me and that He thinks I could do it, because He woun't have chosen me if He didn't think I could do it.
100%.
I'm sure of that. I'm
100%
sure of that.
By being grateful, you're not going to lose out, as you said, right?
Not only you're not going to lose out, you're going to win. And I don't mean that all of a sudden a whole thing of money is going to fall in your lap,
right,
if that's how your definition of winning is. But I do mean that if you consider walking around and being a curmudgeon and being in a bad mood, it's because I'm sick. If you were sick, you'd be... That's not the way to live life.
Right.
That's not why me, how come me, I can't believe you. I could have been here if you didn't make me sick. You're wasting your time, not productive. On the other hand, Hakadosh Baruch Hu, I don't agree with you, but you know better than me. I'm going to be the best Moshe Underweiser. I'm going to be the best father. I'm going to be the best stepfather. I'm going to be the best son. I'm going to be the best brother. I'm going to be the best friend. I'm going to be the best employee, etc., etc. I'm going to daven the best I can. I'm going to learn the best I can. I'm going to continue to grow as a yid the best I can under the circumstances that you put me through.
Right.
That's an attitude. Hakadosh Baruch Hu says, That's my warrior. I want you in my arms.
Let's go!
I want you in my arms.
Warrior, grateful warriors, grateful warriors.
As you know, when they were going for an obligatory war, they would ask certain of the warriors, they would excuse them if they were in the midst of places in their life where they had unfinished business. And the Kohen Gadol, who was out there with a Sefer Torah in the Aron, would excuse all of those people who had things on their mind, who might not be totally committed to being 100% warrior.
Right.
If you want to win, you have to be committed of the same mindset. So once he excused those warriors that had a good reason, according to his analysis, you were left with warriors that wanted to be there and wanted to have Eretz Yisrael to be victorious. So when we are being our grateful warriors and we have our challenges, whether they're health related, they could be shidduchim related, they could be parnasa related. There's no short list of things we need to be warriors against. We need to be committed. We need to be together. We need to have the same mindset that Hakadosh Baruch Who will allow us, if we do our shadlus, vanquish our enemy, whether it's Yetzer Hara, whether it's get our shidduch, regain our health. Hakadosh Baruch Hu has the ability, in a blink of an eye, in a snap, to grant us what we need. And we just have to be committed, grateful warriors. Being grateful is important, one of the major components, I think, but we have to be committed. We have to do our shtadlis and understand that Hakadosh Baruch Hu has the power, if we're supposed to be healthy again, if we're supposed to have the shidduch, if we're supposed to have parnasa, he can grant it in a second.
Exactly what I was like. That's what I was in the middle of saying with this shidduchim. Like, it came out of nowhere. It came out of left field, and Hashem was so good to me. And I'm trying my best of my ability to warrior as much as I can, and trying to be grateful as much as I can. And Baruch Hashem, that Hashem just literally is like, as I was saying, giving a bear hug, giving a kiss, like just
100%.
Out of nowhere, say, give me a wonderful kala, and Baruch Hashem, hopefully, to continue on this path of being a grateful warrior, and that's chus, hopefully, we'll be able to bring Mashiach this way.
Amen, amen. And Hakadosh Baruch Hu knows, remember, in Yiddishkeit, you're not graded on getting every answer right, like in school.
Correct.
We are graded on effort. Show your work, you can get partial credit. So if Hakadosh Baruch Hu, if he knows you've been working as hard as you can, pushing it to the limit to try to find the shidduch, he gives you the shidduch. If he knows you've been going through the therapy and you're having procedures to get back up and walking and running and being totally active as you can, he's going to give it to you. And if he wants me to beat stage 4 colon cancer, I'm going to beat it. Right. Only if he wants me to. He has the ability. I just have to do my shtadlis, knowing that Hakadosh Baruch Hu has the ability to grant it to me if I'm supposed to have it. I want to be the most grateful warrior amongst us warriors.
I'm beyond words. I can't really talk now.
I don't do anything crazy. I don't do anything that costs money. I think to myself, look what he did. He took out 600,000 men. That's not including women and children. Like that. Terrifying. He could do anything. He could do anything. There's no limit to Hakadosh Baruch Hu. If you remember that, if you think about how he could do it, but that was thousands and thousands of years ago. He's here today. Things happen every day. We miss them. We don't always see them. And then other times you see them. When you go through your challenge, no matter how small you think it is or how great you think it is, there's no such thing as small or great to Hakadosh Baruch Hu. He knows no limits. We know we say it in our davening. He knows no limits. He can do whatever is necessary under the circumstances to bring you Yeshua at any time. Anytime. He doesn't have to make an appointment or a reservation. HaKadosh Baruch Hu can do it whenever he wants. And if we keep that in our mind as a warrior, and even better, as a grateful warrior, it's okay to be a warrior. I think grateful warriors get a special section. Everyone could be a warrior. Okay, I got to get up and go to school. I can't believe it. Oh, wow, man. I don't want to do my tax. I don't want to go to the dentist. I'll go, but I don't want to go. You can be grateful for it. I don't want to do it, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it right. I'm going to do the best I can because Moshe Underweiser is doing it. I want to put my name on it. I'm going to be grateful. I'm going to daven. I want to make that minyan. I'm going to make sure to have as best kavanah as I can. I want to go listen to the daf. I'm going to have my Gemara. I'm going to prepare for it, and I want to learn it. I'm going to be a grateful warrior, not a upset one, not a why me warrior.
Right.
I want to be a warrior that says, I know you can heal me, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Please heal. I'm doing my shtadlis. I want to be the best warrior. I'm fighting the Yetzer Hara. I'm fighting a physical issue as well, a health issue. Please help me.
I want to ask you a question. So it's not about why me. You mentioned why me, and between me and you, why me is not going to help. We both know that.
It's not productive.
It's not productive.
You can ask.
You're going to ask, and
You'll
guess
find
what?
out after
And guess
120.
You're not going to know the answers.
Right.
We both know that's true.
Right.
So that I have no problem with. Fine. The question is, God, is one surgery after the next surgery, one clap after the next clap, and you thought you're over it. I finally did it! You know what? Now, another time. Moshe Underweiser finally beat stage 4 colon cancer. You know what? Back in your spine.
100%.
Ad Masai.
Because he knows better than we do. We think we know. The doctors think they know. That's science. Your aunt, your uncle, your friend. We know, I had a friend, but what's for me is for me. What's for you is for you. And Hakadosh Baruch Hu knows the answer. We think we know the answer from science and from other things, who knows what. But it keeps coming back to the same thing. Hakadosh Baruch Hu knows best. You always have to say, I figured it out. I had a calculator. I thought this was the answer. But Hakadosh Baruch Hu knows best. I'll never know the reason I got stage 4 colon cancer. You'll never know the reason that you have what you have with your spine. But there came a time, unfortunately, that Hakadosh Baruch Hu said, you need to be afflicted with stage 4 colon cancer, and you, with yours, you were supposed to start the Grateful Warriors, you were supposed to meet Sasha, and I know all the other things that that's happened to you along the way would not have happened if you weren't going through what you're going through. And the same goes for me. There's so many things that I've gone through that I wouldn't have encountered unless I was a cancer patient. So many things, I don't have any amazing stories where I met somebody or anything like that. I think you do have. You have those stories.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to teach me humility. It's supposed to teach me to be a considerate person. I'll never know why Hakadosh Baruch Hu thought that I needed to be stricken with stage 4 colon cancer. But one thing I do know is that's what he thought should be the case. That's what he thought. I need to be a better person. I need to come through as a better person. When we were in Eretz Mitzrayim, we had to be there. And you think anyone knew we were going to get the Torah? Matan Torah was going to enter with Matan Torah?
No.
We had no idea that that's where our 210 years of being servants and all the physical abuse and all the mental torture was going to lead to Matan Torah. Well, guess what? There's something waiting for you and waiting for me at the other end of going through what we're going through. Hakadosh Baruch Hu is bringing us through this on our own to reach someplace. He's not just giving us building pyramids with a ground sinking. He's not putting us through mindless work. There's a reason that he wants you to go through, you're going through, and why I'm going through what I'm
I know,
going
but you did it already. You went to the map.
Apparently not.
Look at our logo, right? The logo has
Thank you,
person. Yeah, thank you, Hashem, right?
Made it to the top of the mountain.
Made it to the top mountain, and you have this thing do it.
Okay,
you
so
did it. You made it to the top.
Says who?
From the world's view, most people don't have stage 4 colon cancer. You made it to the top. You
So
made
far,
it.
there's so much more I want to do. Hopefully, Hakadosh Baruch Hu knows that I have a bright future in front of me,
Amen,
and he'll give
100%.
me the opportunity.
Amen.
Hopefully, but Hakadosh Baruch Hu has got to be the one who said, you're on the top. When he tells me that I'm on the top, and they come in and they go, Moshe, I can't explain this, but you have no more tumors. And that can happen. I know it can happen. Like that. When Hakadosh Baruch Hu wants it to happen, it will happen. They'll come in and this is astounding. I've never seen anything before. Come back in 6 months. We'll give you a scan. Come back in a year. That's when I'll go up and I'll pose for the next logo for Grateful Warriors. The more you would accept, and I'm right now speaking to Moshe Underweiser, that Hakadosh Baruch Hu runs the world, and that when you end up in traffic when you're rushing for a meeting, or when your plans don't go exactly as you had set them up for, it's not because somebody failed you. It's not because something didn't work out properly. It's because Hakadosh Baruch Hu didn't want it to happen that way. All the people that didn't make it to the World Trade Center on the morning of 9/11 because they were saying slichos, or because they had a flat tire, or because they had train trouble, they might have been cursing and who knows what they were saying, and they're alive today to talk about it. We never know why Hakadosh Baruch Hu makes something happen to us, but if the sooner that we get inside of ourselves that Hakadosh Baruch Hu runs the world, and that's why things happen, we'll be calmer and we'll be more accepting of the things that happen to us. We can be on the way home in a few minutes. I go, we were supposed to make that Ma'ariv. How come we didn't make it? Because the Hakadosh Baruch Who didn't think we should make it. He wants us to make a different one. And we go to that Ma'ariv and we end up meeting someone we haven't seen for 20 years. Hakadosh Baruch Who runs the world. That lesson is a enveloping lesson that almost covers like everything. Acknowledging and accepting and internalizing that Hakadosh Baruch Who runs the world could make you a calmer person.
I have an interesting story. I was in shul in Boston, in like a late Ma'ariv dying for them, and I see someone wearing an RCCS cap. I said, that's one of the most chashuv organizations in Goliath. And I asked him for a ride home after, and it turns out it was the CEO, Chaim Ranfogel. And ever since then, I become RCCS is my family. I'm just like thank you Hashem is a chevra. I'm part of the chevra. RCCS is like they're like my brothers, which is so amazing. So you see, like you're saying, like Hashem just like He orchestrates being in a certain place at a certain time,
100%.
And that's it's pretty wild. How did your family take this, like the whole time? Personally, like my family really stepped up to the plate, and my mother didn't miss a day in the hospital for 3 months straight, and my sisters and my father and everyone else stepped up to the plate during my last number of surgeries and chemo and radiation, all that stuff. How did your family take it?
My wife and I, Tova, have a blended family, 8 kids between the two families. And in whatever way they could do, we don't have any doctors in the family. We don't have anyone who could help me directly, cancer or anything like that. But incredibly supportive, encouraging, anything they could do. But stepping back for a second about my wife, unbelievable. It just so happens she is a nurse by trade,
really?
but she's my wife first, obviously. And while it's nice to have a wife who's a nurse, she's much more than a nurse. She didn't become a nurse and learn how to be caring, compassionate, kind, etc. She became a nurse because she's kind, compassionate, caring, etc. And being the fact no kids are at home anymore, so it's not like we have little kids running around. But family's been amazing, and the resources we have in our community is those resources are amazing.
I don't know how we do it.
Incredible, and it takes a toll on them too. And I'm sure you understand that it takes a toll. Those closest, and then as you go out of the circle, it takes a toll. But no one has given up on encouraging me. If it's beatable, they know Moshe is going to beat it.
What's a message that you would say to a family member who's dealing with their loved one who's sick, who's going? What's the message you would give?
Find the right resources. If it happens to be cancer, RCCS, there are other organizations, High Lifeline, whatever. There are definitely other organizations. There are organizations to get referrals. Seek support. Ask around your community. And talk to your Rebbeim. Contact us here at Grateful Warriors, because since we're warriors, we have fellow co-warriors that are 100%. Fighting the good fight. And we would be more than happy to share our experiences and our resources. If any of our Chayliga listeners would like to speak one-on-one, on the phone, in person, Zoom, I'm available. I have a lot to share, and I'd be more than happy to assist you. You're not alone. The message is you're not alone. You're not alone because we have Hakadosh Baruch Who. We have the biggest, the warrior of warriors, the general, the supreme 5-star commanding general is Hakadosh Baruch Who. So we always have him, and then we have us other warriors, and everyone's always ready to help. As Yidden, we are so fortunate. Nobody has a better support system. There's not.
I don't know how I would deal with that. Like,
100%.
The whole time, like, there's always different organizations and clients. Every single day, the people, I'll give you rides. I'll send you an Uber. I'll send you Uber Eats. And someone gave me $1,000 Uber Eats gift card. It's really a bracha for us.
100%.
I don't think Grateful Warriors could exist. We're so fortunate just to appreciate for a second what we have, that we have the support system. We have, all these people and all organizations. Clients are just remarkable.
It turns why me into what can I do? How can I do it?
Correct.
How can I help? That's productive. That's me. Look, it made an effect on you. You're sitting here sharing this with us, and instead of why me, what can I do? How can I help? Let's beat this. Let's be the best warriors we can be. We need more warriors. You can be there, why me, and feel sorry for yourself and just be downtrodden, or you could say,
right.
I don't have an answer for you about why you. I don't know why Hakadosh Baruch Who chose you, but you know what? Did you know there's this RCCS? You know there's Grateful Warriors? You know there's this? You can write to them and ask them and send them an email. You could be that person. Because why me only goes so far? Why me? It's probably you're going down a hole where there's no end. On the other hand, being productive and say, okay, how do I get treated for what I need to be treated? Where do I get the best care? How do I get the best medication, best doctors, etc.? And now while I'm going through it, what do I need now? I can't do this, I need help with this. And you go through the list and be productive and roll up your sleeves and put on your shield and put on your helmet and be a warrior. Warriors are productive. Warriors can win the fight.
If you're a grateful warrior, you have the confidence to say, you know what, I'm in a wheelchair, but that doesn't define me. I mean, it defines a lot of things that I do, but that's not who I am. I am a grateful warrior.
Yeah. It's a mindset.
It's a mindset. It is painful, you know. Of course, it can be painful. It can be painful. Sorry, it can.
It's allowed to be painful.
Thank you for correcting me.
It's allowed to be painful.
It's allowed to be painful at certain times, but at the end of the day, you realize if it's always going to be sad days, that's not who I am.
It's not going to always be sad days. It won't be.
Right.
You have to be confident.
Exactly.
Hakadosh Baruch Hu doesn't want you to always have sad days. There's no way. There's no way.
But it's okay to not be okay. But then the next thing you come up, you rise up and you say, you know what? I'm going to beat this. I'm going to conquer this. I'm going to nail it. I'm going to kill it.
Hakadosh Baruch Hu's help.
That's right.
We're only with Hakadosh Baruch Hu's help, because we'll do our shtadlus, and Hakadosh Baruch Hu has to just bring us over and make sure we get to the top of the mountain, for sure.
Can you take us back to a little bit at the time of the diagnosis? How do you process everything?
I stayed in the moment. It was the beginning of November when I knew I had an issue in my stomach, but it wasn't until the middle of December that I found that it was cancer. So I think I was in my warrior mode immediately. My wife and I, Tova and I, got me into Sloan right away. And then as it sunk in, once I got that important information, not only a diagnosis, but what the road ahead looked like for the next few months, that's when I said, okay, you're not alone. And also I was put in touch with RCCS immediately. And the minute I went in through RCCS, that eased the process and allowed me to just concentrate on my health. Then it was just Hakadosh Baruch Hu and me and my wife going through the process. And
but going through the process, was it difficult?
It's not difficult when you know you're not alone. And I don't mean with having Tova there, because Tova is, no doubt about it, Hakadosh Baruch Hu's number one shliach, no doubt about that. Right. There's not anyone close. But when you know Hakadosh Baruch Hu is right there, you're just never alone. I go into an MRI. I hate MRIs.
Oh my god!
I hate MRIs.
You're like closing a coffin. Yeah. I mean,
if you can request a large bore MRI, it's like a CT. It's more like a CT scan.
They have open MRIs, I think, but
stand up. Yeah,
they do. But I can't do stand up because
right, obvious reasons. But you'd be funny if you did stand up. You'd be funny. You're definitely funny.
Oh no, I actually do sit down comedy.
There you go. but when I go into a procedure where they're putting me out, biadka of kidruchi, I'm in your hands.
Wow.
And whose hands do you want to be in?
I'm being God's.
That's what I chant to myself, and before they go, okay, Mr. Underweiser, we're gonna.
Right, so you're saying the MRIs are difficult, but yeah.
MRI surgeries.
Right.
But again, you're not alone. You're never alone. Hakadosh Baruch Hu is right there at your head. We learned he's at the head of the bed for a chola, right? You're never alone. He's never on vacation. He never takes a lunch break or a cigarette break. He's there. He's always there. And you know you got the best. Bottom line is, this is where Hakadosh Baruch Hu has us both. We're in different chairs, and we're fighting different wars, but what we have in common, we're both trying to remain grateful warriors. Mm-hmm. We're definitely warriors, and the idea is to be grateful about it and go about it in a way that makes Hakadosh Baruch Hu proud of us.
You're an extraordinary person with an extraordinary story, but it doesn't have to be, a crazy story that
right.
Stage 4 colon cancer, physical disability, mental disability, shidduchim problems. Every person, their own little problems.
When something like me getting stage 4 colon cancer, obviously Hakadosh Baruch Hu was giving me a little smack to get my attention and say, hey, Moshe, you're not doing enough. You need to be doing more. You got to be doing better. I don't know why. I don't know why me. I don't know the answer. But obviously, it was something to get my attention. And maybe the other warriors haven't had their attention gotten yet. They're just going through life warring and living their lives. And maybe until such time as Hakadosh Baruch Hu thinks they need to get their attention with something more serious, maybe people are just, sort of cruising through. And the people that are going to come for this podcast are not cruising through anymore for any number of reasons.
Every person with their little challenge, they could be a grateful warrior in their own right.
100%. We should be. Right. I mean, we have the Eitzah. Everyone has the Eitzah.
Exactly.
Everyone has the. So right there.
And he doesn't stop. He's
never, right.
He is persistent.
You get stronger, he gets stronger. So you can't leave him behind. You never vanquish him. So you think even a healthy person who doesn't have any shidduchim problems, parnasa problems, health problems, they still have the Eitzah. So they, at the very bare minimum, they have a reason to be a warrior.
Every person in their own right could really, they could triumph their challenges.
100%. But I think we get a little bit numb to the regular ones. We get the everyday ones where no one's going to call you up and say, "Do you know I was trying to do tomorrow's blot and I couldn't get through it?" What are you going to tell them? What are you going to say? Is that your problem?
Exactly.
I wish I had only your problem. You couldn't do tomorrow's blot. So you know what? Take a break, take a walk around the block, get some air, and you'll come back and you'll do the blot again. It's not until you get pushed. It's not everyone joins the army, so to speak. Not everyone thinks they need to become a warrior in their own, Yes, they want to stay away from things. They want shmir shalosh, and they want to keep their eyes where they're supposed to. That's like everyone takes that for granted. It's not until you raise the ante and it's something that's out of the ordinary. That's when the stakes get higher. And that's when you really put all your energies into it. And that's when it calls on you to remember that Hakadosh Baruch Who is the ultimate 5-star general of us grateful warriors. And people watching this podcast hopefully could get the idea that if you can somehow become a grateful warrior, not just a warrior is easy. I think a warrior is easy, but accepting the challenge you're going through with a smile on your punim and really be truly grateful as you're being a warrior, Hakadosh Baruch Hu loves it.
What's a lesson that you've learned from your challenge that other people can, take on themselves?
Well, if my theory is correct that you only get a struggle or you get a level of struggle based upon whether or not Hakadosh Baruch Hu thinks you need it, do your best to not need a huge struggle.
I love it.
Do your best not to need a huge struggle. Try to see if you can stay on top of being the best yid you can be and not need a big wake-up call like maybe I needed. Try to be on top of everything.
I love it.
And maybe, again, it's only if my theory is correct that we each get a wake-up call based upon the need for it, because the Hakadosh Baruch Hu knows what's best for us and he loves us. He wants us to be a better person. He loves nothing more for us to be a better person and to grow. So do your best not to need a large wake-up call, something serious. That is the lesson I could try to say over. There's no easy way to do that.
Right.
It's the concept.
I appreciate it. Moshe, thanks so much. You should have only continued bracha v'atzlacha.
Amen.